Welcome to a different kind of archery podcast where we're all about the real stories, practical tips and the shared passion for this timeless sport. Join us for insightful conversations with archers, experts and enthusiasts from all walks of life. From hitting the golds to the pursuit of personal growth through archery, we've got it all. So get ready to knock your arrow and take aim at a world of archery knowledge. This is Unstrung Archery. Before we jump into this month's episode, we haven't actually got a sponsor for this month. However, I want to talk about the European Indoor Championships and two people in particular. Both Sarah Hubbard and Evie Finnegan have both been selected to represent Great Britain at the Indoor European Championships held in Croatia in February. Now, both of them are having to self-fund their trip to Croatia to be able to attend this event, and we really want to help to get them there. In the show notes, I'm going to leave some links to their GoFundMe page, so if you have the ability to donate or even just share their targets on Facebook or any social media platforms, it would be really appreciated to get them both there. We have actually had donations already of £1,255 for Evie and £1,175 for Sarah. This is at the time of recording, which is a few days before this episode goes live. So if you can help those girls out, hopefully we can get them on a future episode to actually talk about the indoor championships when they get back. I'm really looking forward to that. So if you can help out, please either share at a minimum, or if you can donate to these girls using the collective power of this podcast community, which is amazing, by the way. Let's get them to Croatia. Hello and welcome to another episode of Unstrung Archery with me, Neil Hickman.
And me, Nye O'Neill. I'm going to promise to be on best behaviour this episode.
Good. It's about time. Anyway, today we're talking about the importance of looking after your mental health, especially in performance archery.
And today we're joined by Kirsten Shoesmith of Bebington Archers. Kirsten's a barebow archer and a coach, and she's previously represented both Cheshire and shot on the national tour, and now is a mental health advocate in the sport of archery. And now, Kirsten, would you mind, first of all, just telling us a little bit about yourself and how you first of all got into the sport of archery?
Hi, so I started archery when I was at university. I went to university at Newcastle University and was kind of swept up into the archery environment during my freshers week. I went along to a taster session and it was kind of like love at first sight, I guess. Got on with all of the lovely people at the archery club and joined and was shooting for the entire duration of my my university career. Then when I moved down to the Wirral, it was one of the main things that I was looking for, a way to make friends and just get out of the house, really, apart from work. Obviously, moving and graduating during COVID, it was a bit of a long stretch with no interactions other than like family. So it was high on the importance list to join a club.
Yeah, and having met the guys from Bebington and Wirral Archers, everyone there seems like a really friendly community. So I can imagine it being really good for joining a new place.
Yeah, definitely.
And what was it got you shooting? What's the appeal there? Because obviously we've talked to Helen Brown in previous episodes about the rise in barebows. So I'm interested in getting another barebow archer's thoughts on what influenced them to do it.
Yeah, I think I'm quite similar to Helen in that I didn't really get on with the sight during my beginner's course. I know when we put the sight on the bow and started shooting, I was hitting the target over. So I was like, well, get rid of that. I don't need that. And I was fine shooting barebow. So it's kind of what I stuck with and what I continue to shoot. And I don't think I'd ever move to a recurve or a compound bow. It's just more instinctual, more my style.
And you're definitely putting good scores in, because from when we've shot, you've been kicking my backside fair and square.
Yeah.
It's not hard that though, no, really, is it?
Oh, come on! You meant to be. I thought you meant to be helping me out here. We want to make Kirsten look good, not say, oh, it's easy to beat me. We want her to make her look good, like, oh, she's beaten now.
I can't talk. I can't beat you either.
You'd beat me, mate. But then again, you've got telescopes on your bow, so
That's another pound in the anti-compound jar now.
yeah. Yeah, one more on chalkboard, but got to get the digs in early. And obviously, one thing that you mentioned earlier, Kirsten, before the episode, was that it was 2 years ago today that we actually met in competition, actually, at the Chorley Portsmouth back in 21. And
Yeah.
what was it got you into the idea of going to competitions and things?
So when I was at uni, it wasn't really about the competing. It was more for the social aspect. My first year, when I went into my second year, I was on the committee, which got me shooting more regularly because I had to go and open up the range for all the other members. And it was then when I started shooting as part of Newell, which is the North East Archery League, and making friends that way as well. So I actually made friends at tournaments from universities of Teesside and Sunderland and Durham, and I'm still really good friends with all of them people now, which is amazing, considering how long it's been since I was at uni. So competing was more for the social aspect while I was at uni, and when I moved down to the Wirral, obviously it's more competitive. Club is Bebington. There's obviously Patience Word and Alex Currams who shoot quite competitively and encouraged me to come and join them at like local competitions. So again, that was more of a social and friendly kind of competition. Just competing at club level. And when I started putting better scores in, the club were really supportive in getting me in touch with like the Cheshire County, and then obviously national tour. So yeah, it was kind of ramped up since I moved to the Wirral.
And and it sounds like, yeah, because obviously we see like yourself going through the ranks. It's really good. It's been really good seeing you progressing up as well through those levels. But like we're here to talk about some of the more unfortunate aspects that go with it as well. So things like how I'm pretty sure in some way, shape or form, performance anxiety is quite normal for most people, but competing, say, to higher levels like you were doing comes with more challenges as well. Is there anything that you'd feel comfortable sharing with us about going through those moving up a couple of levels from sort of club level competition?
Yeah. So I was diagnosed with anxiety from quite a young age, so that's kind of something that I've always lived with. And battling with like social anxiety and overcoming that has been obviously its own challenge. But then when you start competing at like a higher level and start shooting alongside some of the best in the world, obviously on national tour, you've got elite athletes on the targets next to you. So obviously you start to feel like the imposter syndrome and the performance anxiety. And it's not just nerves at that point. It's sometimes a much more serious issue. But yeah, there's one instance that I can remember extremely clearly. It was the first time I ever competed at a national tour stage. Last year at Bucks and Bounty, I was on my way down to the competition and I had to literally pull over in my car to stop, and I was having like one of the worst panic attacks I can ever remember myself having. And I know it's it's not the greatest, but I was up in the night as well. I was staying overnight on the Friday. I'd set my tent up and gone back to my hotel, and I didn't sleep. I was having night terrors and crying, and it just wasn't what I wanted the day before a competition. And I think that was mainly down to the imposter syndrome and not feeling like I deserved to be on that field. The day itself was absolutely fine. As soon as I started shooting, like the sun came out, which is a rarity at Lilleshall, as everyone will probably know. But I actually got through into the bronze medal match, which was like something out of a dream. So once I'd kind of settled into my shot and my process was going and the sun came out and everyone was so lovely, like it wasn't as big an issue as I'd kind of worked up in my head.
I'm curious, at which point did you realise that you actually deserved to be there?
It was during the ranking round. I say that as soon as I got on the field and like I saw people that I knew and recognized and everyone was like, hey, and like, yeah, it was just being around the people kind of settled my nerves. And then when we started shooting and I got into the ranking round, I just completely relaxed. And then I was like, well, I'm here for the experience, not to perform. And I think that's what got me through, as I lowered my expectations. And that was all National Tour was for me last year, was just for the experience. As Nye probably will tell you, I'm extremely competitive. So doing that is quite challenging for me, is to like lower the expectations and just have fun with it.
Oh, I just wanted to say, well, before we go further, that I'm really, so first of all, I'm really sorry to hear about what happened with the night before, and that also that,
Yeah.
mate, and honestly, mate, I'm proud of you for coming through and just going through the day as well, because I know how hard it can be when you're having to pull yourself through after incidents like that.
Well, I'm proud of it.
It's not the easiest thing to do, so.
Just want to say that before we continue and go any further, mate, as well.
Yeah.
And so, obviously, I think what this shows is, because for people like myself looking in from the outside, obviously you're a good mate of mine, but
Yeah.
I just see, when I look at you, I just see a barebow archer who's got a phenomenal amount of talent.
Oh, thanks, Nye.
Most people we wouldn't think to look and think, hang on a minute, this lass could be struggling with all the stuff you've just described to us as well. So
Yeah.
that's the next thing I would want to ask you is, for people like myself and Neil who don't necessarily know what's going on obviously we don't know what anyone's going through, but what would you think would be more helpful to have around you from archers in general, in terms of support?
In terms of archers, obviously, just to be friendly and show good sportsmanship while you're at competitions. Obviously, trash talking and trying to play mind games with people is never fun anyway. Even if they are in a good mental state, it can throw someone's game off. And one of the main things that gets me through the day is like just seeing everyone and enjoying. Obviously, at National Tour, they have music on the field. At smaller competitions, maybe not so much, and especially not indoors. And it's, for me, it's just being around the people that I love. There's not anything people can really do other than be themselves.
I like that, and yeah, just be decent to each other as well, sort of thing.
Yeah, and just remember why you love the sport, because when you get into the bigger competitions, it is really easy to forget why you're actually there. And you're there because you love archery, right? So
Yeah.
if you remember the basics of it, then it makes it all worth it.
Yeah, go down, relax and enjoy the day and spend time with, and everyone on the line is just friends you haven't met yet as well.
Yeah, exactly. You always meet new people on your target.
And that's what I remember about meeting yourself. It was sort of, we'd never met each other before that competition, and what was it, about 10 minutes later we were trash talking each other, giving each other bit of having the banter. It's things like that that make it as well, isn't it? And
yeah, just a little bit of jip, friendly competition.
Yeah, and all sort of good natured as well.
Yeah.
I suppose my next question would be, obviously we've talked about what we can do to look after each other, but what sort of support do you think would benefit performance athletes if for obviously overcoming problems like this? Because it's one that obviously club coaches we might not be trained in the same way to. We're trained how to help people on this perform on the technical side. We can obviously run people through this is how a shoot works, but we're not necessarily trained to help people with things like your experiences as well.
With mental health, yeah. So obviously there's a lot more support out there for people with mental health issues nowadays. And you should always look after your mental health as you'd look after your physical health. So if you sustained a shoulder injury, for example, during a shoot, you'd take yourself away and you'd get yourself some physio and get it looked at by the GP. And it's the same with your mental health. Like if you're having one of those days and you just can't get it right and there's something in your head that's not budging, you need to go away. You need to speak to someone who can talk you through what you're experiencing. So the likes of sports psychologists are really important, specifically for the higher performing archers. And they're just as important as your PT and your physio and your sports massages. Like you always need to have like the debrief as well. So if something hasn't quite gone right, you go and see your coach and you just talk about what's happened. So even if it's not a technical issue, if something's happened during the shoot that's kind of shaken you in such a way that you can't get back in your groove, it's just good to get things out and talk about it and make sure that it's not rattling around in your head for the next few days, because sometimes that can just really get you down and you don't really want to come back around and start shooting again back in training. I know that's definitely happened for me for a couple of times. I've had a really bad competition and I'll just take the whole week off from shooting. So
I can testify to that, not from the shooting side, but from the swimming. Because when I was training for my Windermere swim this year, I had a training event. It was sort of month and a half, 6 weeks to go or something. Time to start upping the distance, get some longer swims in. I sign up to do Coniston, and about 9 kilometers, give or take, about 500 meters in, I have a complete meltdown, and pressure had got to me, and but I just thought I dragged myself through, so I just put that to about a mile or so, and then I just thought, you know what, I'm done now, and got out of these things. But yeah, going like you say, going back and spending time talking to the guys in training, talking to me coach, and that helped me actually get back into the water and actually say, come on, we can carry on training now. But if I hadn't had that support around me, wouldn't have been. I'd have probably struggled to. I was genuinely on the verge of wanting to stop swimming for a bit. But talking to me, you like you say, use your team, get the psychologists on side as well, and it'll really.
Yeah. And now I'm not saying that everyone needs to go out and get a sports psychologist, because that's not the case. It's more making sure that you debrief, even if that's with one of your friends who you've gone to with the club, just to kind of talk through what's happened during the session or the competition and what hasn't really agreed with what you're feeling. And just talking through your thoughts around what's happened. It all helps just to bounce ideas off other people as well. Because at the end of the day, we're stronger together, and the more you talk, the less weight it holds.
Speaking of bouncing ideas off, I just want to jump in here quickly. Obviously, we're talking at the minute about higher level stuff for like the national tour and whatnot. As obviously coaches, we've all been through the session coach stuff, or the level 1, depending on when you got the privilege of doing it. I don't feel that this is a topic that's touched on at all in the session coach course. So if we had the power to change the content of the session coach course so there was more support for mental health issues, because we do go through stuff like physical disabilities and, blind archers, visually impaired archers, archers that have hearing impairments or are deaf. There's a lot of that covered in the course contents.
Yeah.
But I feel like, I know what, at the end of the day, we're not doctors. We shouldn't be diagnosing people or anything like that. But if we had the opportunity to just give somebody that little bit more support, what do you feel like that should be?
Yeah, for sure. So obviously, there's no way you could diagnose anyone with like anxiety or depression or anything like that. That obviously has to be a doctor. But for anyone who's experiencing performance anxiety or imposter syndrome, all of that kind of thing can be covered by a club coach, in my opinion. If you're having a little bit of trouble with like target panic as well. Target panic's a mental state. It's not anything that's kind of covered by coaching on the coaching course. It's more the physicalities of shooting and obviously the visually impaired or disabled archers. It's all like the physical attributes as opposed to the mental attributes. So anything really along them lines, if that could be added into the curriculum for the coaching, that would be absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, the reason why I bring this up is because, without mentioning any names, I've got a young archer that's at our club at the minute. She's a lovely young lady, but she suffers quite badly with anxiety, and there's just sometimes. I mean, I suffer with anxiety as well with my ADHD, but sometimes it just doesn't translate to how other people experience it, because obviously we all experience it in our own different way. So yeah. I'm there trying to help her and trying to get her to become a stronger archer, a better archer. She's got a lot of raw talent, but there's times where if there's more than a couple of people on the range, it will kind of like freak her out a little bit, and we don't tend to get a good session off her at that point. And it's just like, how do you deal with this we've not got the tools to deal with that kind of thing. And I think if during the content of the course that could be covered a little bit, because I could quite happily support a disabled archer, no problem, a physically disabled archer. I have no issues with that. In fact, I was at actually a scout camp on Saturday, and we had a young lady who only had one arm. And she came over to me. She was like, "Can I have a go?" And I'm like, "Absolutely, let's go." And we had no equipment there to actually help her, but we had somebody hold the ball for her while she drawed it back, and she got it in the goal, and she was over the moon. So we have that ability to do that. But for somebody who has mental health issue or a condition or anything like that, I feel like we don't have the tool set to deal with that right now.
Yeah, I would totally agree.
And I think for me it would be, I suppose, if they come down to the range, and it's just, I suppose, making them just feeling happy on the range. So even if they want to just come down, and maybe just shoot a few arrows, but they might not feel like they want to perform, just having them down and just being present until they know that. And just sort of, because I think I remember again when I'm going to go back to swimming rather than archery again, but after my anxiety, when I had my anxiety attack, I was too scared to even get changed to swim. So in the end, it was just spending time with my friends in the water at first, just before I even started about trying to perform again. So I think if we could I suppose it's helping people realise how we can just helping people, because obviously we're all people and it's not our job to solve problems, but if we can help just to show this is how people with anxiety might feel, and then people might think, oh, if I might be able to contribute to that relaxed environment in this way, and other people might think I can do that. Would that be something, do you think, that might be helpful going forward?
I mean, for me, anxiety, and if the the young girl at your club is experiencing anxiety when there's a busy range, obviously it's uncomfortable for her to be there. So it's just creating a comfortable environment so she can feel a little bit more confident. And once she's got that confidence, obviously she'll start performing a little better. But it's that initial comfort that she needs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it boils down to, and a lot of people don't realise this, but just having a frank talk with the person is just saying, how can I actually help you?
People don't like talking about it too much, but as soon as they do open up and express how they're feeling or what thoughts they're having, it's getting down to the nitty-gritty of it. And
yeah,
when you open up, I don't know if either of you have been to counselling or seen a therapist or anything like that with your
I have.
anxieties or so you understand that when you go and see someone like that, it's like going to the GP about a broken leg. Like, as soon as you start talking and working through things, you kind of see things from a different angle, from someone who's impartial and is looking at it from the outside. And for me, it absolutely changed my life, going to therapy and seeing a counsellor. And that's what it's all about, is making you realise that talking and working through things is how you overcome. And you can only do that if you do then open up. If you're keeping it on the inside, it's not going to go away. You can't just ignore it. Obviously, if you broke your leg, you're not going to ignore it. It's going to freaking hurt.
Yeah, and I'm just going to second everything you've just said there, Kirsten, because literally the day after my first therapy session was the day after I met yourself, and and it's one where over a year and a half or so, it works wonders. Eventually, it was just nice to, because I was, when you have that thing of, should I open up, shouldn't I open up, like that. I just thought, well, I'm here. I just thought, I'm here anyway I'm here, so I might as well just and I knew my therapist always, she was great. She knew what she was doing as well, and sort of person that I felt properly comfortable opening up with. I'm just thinking, hang on a minute, you've already worked this out, so I might as well tell you anyway.
Yeah. So again, it's the comfort and the comfortable environment and the feeling safe. And I think that's, for a lot of people, they're scared of being vulnerable. And it's the vulnerability that is stopping them from opening up. So it is just the stigma around mental health and kind of myth busting it all and telling people it does get better when you open up.
It
is kind of
does.
my message. Yeah.
And I'll back, and just one thing to follow on from that about if it's myth busting and things. I'll just put it on record now to sort of hopefully it doesn't come across. I don't intend this to come across as showboating. I want to just put it in some sort of context that I swam Windermere this summer just gone, but if someone who can go and swim the length of Windermere, and not without its challenges, but because of anxiety, I had a spell a couple of years back where I was too scared to get changed in, not to get in the water, not like I was in there in my wetsuit ready to jump in the river in a safe space that I swim at. Always make sure you swim in a safe space, just for the record as well. But I was in the place where, really lovely warm day, perfect conditions just to go and have a leisurely swim, to get back into it. It wasn't like I was there in my wetsuit. I was there in my clothes, just checking it out. I was too scared to get changed to go back in the river afterwards. So if all I'll say is, it doesn't make, if you're struggling out there with, obviously we talk a lot about anxiety, but anxiety, depression, whatever you're struggling with, then reach out to get help in whatever, in a positive way, whether it's reaching out to a your friends, family, or even better, if you can get out to a proper therapist to help you work through the things. Please reach out. I know there's a stigma attached to mental health, but at the end of the day, there shouldn't be. We shouldn't have this stigma because, like you've said before, Kirsten, if you had a broken leg, you'd get go to doctors. So all I'd ask
Yeah.
people is, if you are struggling, please reach out as well.
Yeah, and I just want to add on, you don't necessarily have to go out and seek a therapist. There are all sorts of different helplines that you can call. So if you're struggling in the immediate and need someone to speak to, I'm sure the lads will put some phone numbers in the description for the podcast, and you can call any time of day, and there's always someone at the other end of the phone.
Yeah, 'cause we've got people like Mind Samaritans who have good
Yeah.
helplines, and we'll put contact links in the program notes as well. And obviously for anyone listening as well, if you know of more local services that might be able to help, comment them on the comment them on the post as well. Because the more that we can make these services visible to people, the more accessible they become, and the more people might be
It's
able
all
to
help.
reach out and seek. Yeah. So please, to anyone listening, if you first of all, if you're struggling, please reach out. Even if you just drop me a message saying, "Nah, can I have a kind of you see me at a shoot or something, pull me to one side like that." But please reach out to someone. And also, if you can put something on uh, group chat on the not on the group chat, sorry, on the posts that we put out with the episode, please put it there because, like we said before, the more of this we can share, more resources, groups that are available, helplines, things like that, more we can actually help ourselves, help each other get better as well.
Yeah, just a point too. If you are a welfare officer of a club as well, these are the kind of things that you should be sharing with your club, just to help promote well-being during the club. Anybody obviously in the club can do it, but if you've got the resources, get your welfare officers sharing out stuff and whatnot. I'll try and see if I can get hold of any kind of like materials from Archery GB as well that we can put in the episode notes as well. That might be good for safeguarding officers.
Yeah, that'd be really useful.
If I was to get you pushing now, Kirsten, for a quick summary, a final take home. Obviously, I've had my take home message just before that, my long speech to everyone. But I suppose if you were to
Yeah.
do a take home message to people, what that you'd want to give people, what would you want to say at this point?
I would probably say, don't suffer in silence. Reach out and speak to someone. Every single person in archery is a lovely ball of sunshine, and everyone that you meet at competitions will be there to help. So don't be afraid of competing. Please don't let it put you off pushing yourself to achieve any competition that you want to dream to go to. If you want to go do national tour, go do it, because it is one of the best experiences that I have ever done. So it's not all big and scary, and obviously just make sure you have your support team around you. And yeah, I look after your own mental health.
Yeah, I'd agree there, Kirsten, and and thank you again. Thank you again for coming on. Obviously, we're going to keep you. We're going to keep you around. You're not getting away from it quickly because we've still got a bit of a roundup that we're our sort of traditional roundup for the end of the episode that we're hopefully going to keep you for. But
Yeah.
just a quick promo from me for a future episode because we're talking about the need for sports psychologists, etc. Obviously, this can be quite hard to find this sort of support for people unless you have someone who can recommend you word of mouth. But another good friend of mine, Holly, who's a professional golfer, she's co-founder of a new organisation called Athlete Now, who are almost in essence trying to be yellow pages to put athletes and practitioners in touch with each other. So it's a cross sport thing, and one of the things is sports psychologists on there. So she's going to be good enough to come and talk to us on a future episode as well. So just a quick shout out to another episode that we have lined up in the immediate future as well. And so I think with that, I'm going to hand back to Neil to lead us through the tournament reviews and upcoming tournaments and previous tournament section.
Indeed, so it is my favourite time of the episode where we get to go through, we'll just pick one today, otherwise we'll be here all night. So any tournaments that you've been to that we want to promote, local clubs that are putting the effort into running competitions, anything that stands out that you feel deserves a shout out. So Kirsten, have you got anything that you've been to recently that's a bit of a dark horse of the tournament community?
Well, obviously, I'm going to have to shout out my own club, Bebington Archers. We unfortunately don't have an indoor competition due to our unit being quite a small venue, but our outdoors Western we hold in May is fantastic. The sun's always shining on the Wirral, the Leisure Peninsula, as we like to call it. And obviously, everyone at Bebington phenomenal and put on one of the best tournaments of the outdoor season, in my opinion.
Okay. Nye, have you got anything for us?
I think in terms of promoting upcoming shoots, NBA, we've got our Wet Warwick coming up in March. So yeah, get in touch, follow it. We'll put a link to the Eventbrite coming on for the episode notes as well. But I'll probably speak on that more towards another episode in the bit close to the time. But I would just also like to big up Bebington Archers again. I'm not saying it because Kirsten's on the podcast, but me and
yeah, I believe you.
Yeah, but me and my mate Judith came down, and yeah, just everyone at Bebington was really great, really supportive. It was just a lovely atmosphere there, and yeah, for me, I'd almost got a whole episode without saying this, Neil. So get your bingo card out. But all the time I've been shooting, it's been one of me favourite grounds to come and shoot at as well. And I think it's probably up there with my all time favourite shoots. Coming to join you guys in May this year.
Oh, thanks, Nye.
I think
seeing as we're all doing shameless plugs, I think I'm gonna, you know what's coming. It's still not set in stone yet, but Wigan Oral Archers are looking to put their Portsmouth on in March. I think we just need to confirm the venue. Once we've got that confirmed, I will leave a link in the show notes to the entry forms for that one. So yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, that's actually going to go ahead this year.
Actually, I've just remembered something I should say about our Wet Warwick shoot. That's on the we're actually making it a weekend of shooting because we've got the Saturday is our Wet Warwick and the Sunday is the Cumbria Frostbite shoot. Slightly different to the standard Frostbite being 3 dozen arrows. This one's 8 dozen arrows. So yeah, that's the 9th and 10th of March we're going for. So yeah, and then fingers crossed we haven't inadvertently clashed with Neil here. But either way, you got the makings of a good double header of archery in March time, and then followed up by a trip down to the Wirral to see Kirsten in May.
Okay, so our last segment, obviously that's looking forward to the future. Let's have a quick look back to our past in our retrospective. So has anybody been to any tournaments recently that they want to talk about?
Ooh, do you mind if I jump in first at this bit?
Go for it, pal.
I was actually down your neck at woods, Neil, down in Lee at Spinners Mill for their Feature 18 shoots. So yeah, that was a good day out. I managed to shoot morning and afternoon. I've got to I'll give you the very polite version of me shooting. Lots went well, a lot of cozy at times as well. But yeah, it's a good day out. Good to see a few people, a few friends there that I've for the start of the indoor season. And yeah, finally met Zara in person as well, who's going to be on October's episode. From October's episode, sorry. So we finally met in person.
She's lovely, Zara.
Yeah, good, really good fun as well.
Kirsten, anything you been on recently that you want to have a quick chat about?
Not recently. I've actually retired from competing for the time being, but the outdoor season was phenomenal. Just the atmosphere for me, really. Like I said earlier on in the episode, it's the people, it's the social aspect that really stands out competitions for me. If you would prefer, I can talk about a competition that I've competed in the past that I've absolutely loved.
Oh,
go for it.
Let's hear it.
I remember one specifically that I shot at university. It was a annual match between Newcastle, Teesside and Sunderland. And that's where I met quite a lot of my really close friends now. So there's a big shout out to that tournament as being a standout for me. The Archers from Teesside and Sunderland, absolute legends. Yeah.
Hey, Newell matches always seem really good fun as well from my experience with Lancaster Uni.
Kind of jealous that I, one, never went to university, and two, never got the chance to do archery at such a, in university, because it sounds like so much fun, especially the people that I speak to that have done archery in university or are looking forward to doing archery in university.
I never got to do archery when I was at uni, annoyingly, Jill, which was a bit of a pain, but hey ho, I can get that in Lancaster now. And talking to university archery, Philip Taylor from Newell's got to come on and talk to us as well at some point in the future when I can actually sit down and arrange to actually talk to him about it, because I keep forgetting every time I see him. Yeah,
that's a good episode to look out for. We've got quite a few episodes on the books, which, we're going to share what we've got planned in the next couple of weeks once we've got everything confirmed. But I think that pretty much wraps it up, unless anyone's got anything to add.
Nothing from me.
I think the only things I've got of lots of jokes, so I think we best spare our audience the suffering that entails.
Yes, and we'll cut there. That pretty much wraps up this episode, but one last thing, I would just like to say that if anybody is in crisis and needs to talk right now, there's many helplines staffed by trained people ready to listen without any judgment, and they could help make sense of what you're feeling. Head on over to mind.org.uk for more information, or if you need any more information right now, you can contact the Samaritans on 116 123, which is free from any phone. Or you can also text SHOUT to 85258. Shout offers a confidential 24/7 text service providing support if you're in crisis and need immediate help. Again, mind.org.uk has more information if you need. I just wanted to say a big thank you to Kirsten for coming and joining us on this episode, and for Nye as always. Next month's episode will drop at the end of the month, and that will be with world record holder Steph Probert, and we'll be talking about flight archery. That's a fantastic episode. You'll not want to miss that one. Make sure you hit that follow or subscribe button on whatever podcast service you're using. We'll see you next time. Before we sign off, we want to hear from you guys, our amazing listeners. If you have any questions, stories or insights you'd like to share, we'd love to feature your voice on our next episode. Just hit that recording button on your phone or computer and send your voice clip to us. You could be part of the conversation. Plus, we are building a vibrant archery community on our Discord server. It's the perfect place to connect with fellow archers, share your experiences and stay updated on all things unstrung archery. You'll find the links to both our voice submission platform and our Discord server on our Linktree or in the episode description below. Your voice matters and we can't wait to have you join the discussion. Until next time, keep those questions coming and stay safe in your archery journey.